Let's see. I gotta say it again. I got Marielena on here, my politician friend from Mexico. That exciting. Then I got my business partner here, Alejandra, my husband. So we got Melina Cuevas. Welcome. Melina, I don't know your last name. This is Arizona, right?
Let me see.
Yes, right, Melina?
Okay, hold on. Oh, shit. Can you hear me? Hello?
And then I got iPhone. It's Melina. This is from Arizona, right?
No, I'm from Los Angeles.
Oh, Melina. Well, thank you for
Yeah,
joining.
I met you, remember?
Mhm.
Our last name, we might be related.
Yes, okay, Contreras. Okay, got it. I'm like,
Yes,
no,
yes.
you're related to the Arizona team, friends, all the friends.
Yes, yes,
Got
yes.
you, got you. Thank you. Thank you for joining again. I love it. I wanted to see if you were the Arizona team because I'm like, we got Mexico in the house, we got Gardena in the house, and then who's iPhone here? Welcome.
It's Karina. I'm in the dark.
Yeah, it's hi, Karina. We got Whittier in the
Hi. I'm in Bellflower today.
Oh, you are? Okay, this
Yeah, Bellflower.
we get to be all over and connecting. So I did start recording early. I'm going to start in a few seconds. I just want to welcome who's here. And babe, you're upstairs, so you're not too far. And so I'm really grateful that, again, I mentioned this the last time, but being on Zoom, grateful that COVID kind of brought this new, opportunity to really stay connected. I'm taking advantage now, and Marilena, we had our weekly Thursday demos. Now I'm coming into training nights, and right now I have been going to Enagic on Saturdays, and that's where we've been meeting. So whenever you're out here for a weekend, it'll make it easy for you to come out. And Enagic has grown so much; they're growing and growing all the time. So it's really exciting to be a part of Enagic. And I'm excited. Most people are here from Enagic too. And but I have been inviting people who are even outside of Enagic. It's really a mindset training and just an opportunity. I'll meet people in the streets, guys, and I'll just tell them, hey, join this training, get to know me. This is what I do. And but I really want it to be something that empowers you guys to either do the same, offer, right? Give some way to serve. And that's a great business for those who are new to the business, new to business and it's help people to be connected. I really love when we get to have other people share. The night is not about me tonight, so please feel free to also share. Obviously, I am the one giving the training, so I am also, here to support you guys in just creating the conversation. But I do want you guys to know that it's not about me. It's not about even my business. I really want it to be something that you take home something for yourself tonight. And so thank you. We'll start with that, and I will get started. I did prepare a training for tonight. Let me just restart the training because I was just reviewing all my stuff. And so as I share it with you, I don't want you to see the last slide. That's like the fun part. So I always create it where there's an opportunity to have someone or multiple people speak. So welcome to Christopher Torres. I believe that's Mr. Water Bryce on Instagram. Is that you? You can unmute yourself.
Yeah, it's me. Hey.
Was your name Christopher or is it Bryce or what is your name actually?
Oh yeah, my name's Christopher. But my username on like all platforms is Waterboy Ace.
Oh, Waterboy Ace. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought I caught on to Waterboy Bryce or something.
It's all good.
Cool. Now to make that personal touch. Thank you. I reposted something of yours, and that's how I got really connected to you. And so I love Enagic as a community. So I'm grateful that you're here tonight. I know you just said you stepped away from another training to be here. So the learning continues, my friend. Thank you.
Awesome. Glad to be here.
My pleasure to have you. And everyone else who's joining. Brittany, I love you. Got to speak to her today earlier. She's a part of my team too. So let's get started. And we will get this thing. You guys can see my PowerPoint now. And we are live. So welcome everyone again. This is tonight Mindset Empowerment, and my name is Stephanie Contreras. We will go from 7:30 to 8:30. I do want to just give you some things about Zoom. We will have the opportunity to share, so feel free to unmute yourselves once we get to that time. I do have everyone on mute for now, just so that we don't have distractions or background noise. We will have new people coming in, so as the new people come in, I may welcome them. And like Calissa, who's just joining us now. And but there again, there is the mute and unmute option. So if you find that, you can just click down at the bottom. Welcome, Calissa. Thank you for being here tonight. And please feel free to take some notes. It is there will be an opportunity for you to even grab paper and a pen to actually do the work yourself. So it's not just, I don't want to just talk at you and talk to you, and but I really want it to be about you getting something out of it. And feel free to invite and share. This is also being recorded, so if there's some discomfort there, feel free to put your video off. But I love it when you guys can be on with me so I can see you guys and interact with you if you'd like to be sharing your video. But I completely understand if you're driving and just want to be safe too. And so thank you again. And it's also being recorded so that we can repost on YouTube. And tonight's topic is another video. Last week I did the same on Earl Nightingdale, which I thought was actually really weird and somewhat exciting that my husband started playing an interview with I forgot the other guy's name, the Quest guy that he sold the company for $1 billion and something crazy like that. The guy that built Quest, and then he now has Impact Theory. Carlos, do you know his name? What's his name? I hate to not give that name. Carlos? He does interviews on, oh, sorry. I'm asking you to unmute. Do you know his name, babe?
I'm drawing a blank too. He's what is he? I'll look him up right now. I know, but it was a great talk though.
Yeah, because that was a good video that we got to see. But he was interviewing John Maxwell. John Maxwell is considered one of the most influential people in leadership. And leadership is, I mean, we all have a level of leadership. He has the book called 5 Levels of Leadership. And then there's also, he wrote the book, 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership. He's written several books on leadership. Welcome, Mom. I see my mama joined. And so John Maxwell, still a legend, alive, and we were watching an interview, and it turns out even John Maxwell studied Earl Nightingdale. So I just thought that was interesting because I did the training, and actually it wasn't even last week, it was 2 weeks ago. So excuse me, we did have Thanksgiving. And but Earl Nightingdale is also just another big mindset guy. So when I like mindset, because I feel like I've been in a season where I need to increase my mindset. I need to increase my capacity in all ways. And I want to just entertain that conversation right now as for myself. And again, as I'm leading this, like I get a lot from you guys, you get a lot from just being a part of it. And so I love that we get to do this together, you know, just this conversation and being able to entertain the mindset and just, I mean, it impacts everyone like water. It impact, you know, everybody drinks it. Nobody knows anything about it. Mindset's a little bit like that, you know, and I love it because even down here at the bottom, it says, change your thoughts, change your life, you know, and we have it in Magic, change your water, change your life. That is our logo or motto of the company. I really do believe that, yes, if we change our thoughts, we can also change our life. And so one of the, you know, and the question here is why mindset, right? And I put a quote of what we think about, we bring about. And so I want you to stop and look at your life because your thoughts to some degree are yours. And I heard something not too long ago where they said, your thoughts are either from God, they're yours, or they're coming from a negative energy being the devil or whatever you believe in, right? In darkness. So the light, yours or darkness. And so you got to ask yourself, where are my thoughts living the majority of the time, right? And we can begin to make that change when we can hear our thoughts, you know, and I always bring this up because I was a huge student at Landmark, and that's what they would really talk about. Like, you know, that there's this little voice in our head and we all have it, right? It's why we can all relate too, you know, like we're all interdependent. We all need each other. When you guys hear me, you're hearing a little bit of yourselves. Like you didn't show like this. There's never an accident. And when we can see things that way, we can always make something great of where we're at. So I want to support others and being able to hear their thoughts. And I also want to lean on empowering yourself by changing your thoughts. I think I meant lean on empowering yourself by changing your thoughts. Whole point is, let's hear our thoughts and let's learn to change them if we do feel that they're disempowering us. So, that's what I meant. Lean on your empowering thoughts. And if something is disempowering you, then that's something that we need to recreate it in order to make something positive come to life. Now, this is going to be very good for anyone who's a new person, maybe trying to break out of a season, because like, even if it's like you've been in an addict and you're trying to break through, I'm like already starting to recall what I did tonight and like everything I typed up, but it's really having listened to this audio. So I wanted to give you guys the reference. It's on YouTube. It's from Earl Nightingdale, and it's called People's Success and Meaning, which it says episode 1. Okay. And in the video, it actually says success is when we find ourselves. So we'll have conversations about that. And I also, when finding yourself is always changing, or you are always changing. Therefore, what we have to recognize is, where am I right now? Okay. And so I want you to stop and look and consider that as you're in this training, like, where am I right now? And also, where am I headed, right? Because as we can work on our thoughts, that's where they're going to lead us. And so here we go on to the next slide. Now, let's explore ideas. Why do people do what they do? And why do people believe, live, work, and play the way they do? And one of the things Earl Nightingdale mentioned, and I would have to second it, and if you have enough conversations with a lot of people, which I do at all times because I'm a network marketer, most people are not happy, right? And you'll find occasionals that are, but they're also, there's also like Tony Robbins says, success leaves clues. Okay. So boredom is one of those. Boredom, apathy, and general depression has come over people. And that's because of, we'll talk about that a little bit, but of how they're thinking, and because of, therefore, there's a lack of something. Okay. Something's missing when people are in the season of boredom, of apathy, and general depression. Not only is happiness missing, but the solution to their happiness. Now, I testify that this is true for me. There was a season, and I've been a part of an addict for 12 years now, and it's not like I've been without an addict, and it's not like, so it's really, we can get into, and this is true for me, might not be true for you, but we can get into seasons where there's like a slump, like where there's like, I don't feel like I'm going higher. So then this like depression comes over you, this fear. At least for me, it's been fear, but you've got to find what it is for you, right? For me, there was a season where I wanted to break through, and then COVID hit. And then like right before COVID, I actually recall having a girl, and I was sharing about this earlier, that she joined an addict. She bought 4 machines, and then COVID hits. Okay. She bought 4 machines because she bought one for her dad, her mom, her brother, and herself. And she did that because she was learning from my family. That's what my family did. We bought one each for each person. So when we would sell one machine, we would all get paid. And the intention was to build a big business. Then COVID hits, and she's new at this. So I would have to say my responsibility was that I didn't shift fast enough to the online system. And then her family was very fearful, to where, number one, they kept putting in her head that, oh, they just told you, oh, it's never going to work. Oh, what are you doing? You're crazy. Like, they started to do a lot of the negative talk, and that can happen to many people, and that can also bring you down. But this is something good, because you've got to find, where are you? Why did you make this decision? Right. And we're going to talk about that, because we're heading right into that. So that took a toll in the beginning of my business. And then, you know, I honestly let that make me fall back. And then I've had, you know, women like, you know, Alejandra's here to testify, where we actually got to work. And even though we got to work, we started to recognize that there was a lot of people around her that were not ready to purchase. Were not, in a sense, in a season in their life where they were ready to make the decision to join the business. And I'm hoping that we will come around to those, because we did plant the seeds. But what I learned even from tonight is that it's all in having good ideas. So wherever you find boredom, you find the absence of a good idea. And this is Earl Nightingdale. Okay. So I'm just wrapping it all around how depression hits when a person recognizes that their life is not what it could be based on what they thought their future would be as a child. So when you were a child, and when I was a child, when we were children, you know, we would dream. And dreaming was easy. It was like, I could be an astronaut. It was that easy. And those dreams are, you know, they're available. And then there's like some work, but then there's also like surroundings. There's a lot of things that will eventually shut that little child down. And then our dreaming stops happening, right? And really, it's not the dreaming, it's the good ideas. It's the excitement from those good ideas that stops us from living a life of great potential. And that is where it's really insane. But we suffer when we believe that we are living below our true capacities in our work, okay, number one, but also and in our play. And now it says here, I'm sorry, I guess I should have put that somewhere else. Now, people move mountains when they have good ideas. That's what's crazy. And this is inside the audio, so you guys can listen to it. But humans live inspired when they are swept up by a great idea. We become godlike and move mountains when we have good ideas. So now, I mean, you know, for everyone who's an enagic here, we can all testify. It obviously wasn't our idea to make this incredible water. And I've actually always used to mention this inside my demo. Like, it wasn't a good idea that the Japanese would be like, let's make the best water in the world. It was actually discovered. So I just want to wrap it back around on how it was God's idea to make the best water in the world. It was discovered. God already had made it. And so I'm just really trying to point out, like, wow, we get to be a part of one of God's good ideas, because we are also water. And I want to make sure that you guys acknowledge, like, how can I see this as a good idea business for me? And even if you're not an enagic and you're going to pursue something else, how is this a good idea? Will it serve the world, first off? Because remember, the last 2 weeks ago, we talked about it serving people. And that is what will give us, you know, a great purpose to serve others. And so is our good idea, whether that's, you know, this Kangen business or a traditional business that, you know, you will start, is this good idea going to serve people? And will I be excited enough to go out there and try to share my good idea? Because if it's not a good idea in your head, are you really going to share it? Are you really going to be like, will they believe me if I tell them that this water is good? See, these are the things that you have to start to recognize in your head. If you're having a hard time break through in your Kangen business or in the business that you're a part of, do you really think it's a good idea? Now, it may be a good idea, and you may have thought it was a good idea when you joined, but then if it somehow faded, we got to like maybe go back and think, wait a minute, one day I thought it was a good idea. Therefore, let me write those things down. Let me seek internally. Again, this is about looking within and looking within yourself, right? And so when you see within yourself, look why you thought it was a good idea. And this is huge, because I'm also a believer and I go to my church, and a lot of the work that I've done is remembering like why you appreciate what you do. And when you appreciate not even what you do, but what God has done for you, that's what keeps you connected to whatever, if it's a church or if it's a community. Like, I would love it for you guys to continue joining, right? And why? Because it's a good idea for you. right? And a good idea can live on a long time. And if you don't nourish the good idea thinking, then that's what's going to start to create the boredom, the apathy, the confusion, and depression. And so you've got to train yourself like a muscle, literally. Let me remember why this was a good idea in the first place. Okay, so let's keep going. The point, we have been chasing a mistaken concept. Ooh, this is Earl Nightingdale saying of what success is all about. We have confused a means with an ends. So for example, we go to work technically because there's a means to an ends, which is survival, provide for your household, pay your rent, pay your bills, you pay your food, pay your canning machine, pay whatever, right? But that's a means to with an ends. And that's not necessarily a bad idea, but it's not an inspirational idea. It's like a have to, right? Now, if you could fly to the moon and back, and that was a fun idea when you were a kid, then, and you don't do that, and you never chased it, really, you went with the means with an end. You went with, let me work because I have to make an end, meet. And this is the thing that he's saying. Most people are living this way. They're doing the work that they do because it's a means with an end. And that was massive for me because he's talking about this is like 70% compared to 30%. And I think it's more like 95-5, or, we could bet, but doesn't matter. Point is, are you there or are you not there? Now, I can tell you that this has happened in my life. I've been full-time in Adjunct and I've loved it. And then I have currently not been full-time. And therefore, I had to join the family business, do the work that I had to do. And it was very hard. It was a means with an end, though. There was like goals and things that I had to fulfill. And as I have these goals to fulfill, I'm getting better. I'm seeing progress. And that became something that kept me going. However, after a while, I realized oh, sorry, we got someone. Hello, welcome, Monica. Let's just make sure we have ourselves on mute and mute all. Okay. And what I was saying is that it became really easy to succeed in like traditional business. For me is something like it is from the book. And can we expand it? Yes, but it takes a whole team. And in any business, it takes a whole team, right? So what we got to look at is, am I committed to that? And then the answer is yes, but I am more committed to my play. And that's something you got to ask yourself. Does my job or what I'm doing give me enough play as well? This is a big conversation if you're hearing, and because for some, the work that you do can be a burden. And for others, that could be like an ultimate joy, like a good idea, right? And so you've just, if you're unhappy with your work, really, you got to ask yourself, where did I allow the thought of this isn't as good as idea as I thought, right? Where did you allow that to come in? Because if you want to find joy in what you do, it's very simple. You've got to catch the thought that caused you to even think that it was a bad idea to keep doing the work that you do. That's if you want to change it. Then you recreate it. You put another thought there. And this is what's awesome about your thoughts. They're yours. And you can change them up. You can grab one, take one out. You can do what you want. Like you're not at the mercy of them. If you learn to manage, like, oh, I heard it. Right. And so this is what I've literally been practicing for years. And then I'm to the point where I'm like, I think I've kind of got this down. And it's cool because I keep coming up to these like YouTube videos where I'm like, man, they're all saying the same thing. I think I'm getting it down. Like success is one of those things that if you can think about your success at another level, you can get to another level. If you know how to achieve one thing, you can achieve 100 things. So it's like the art of achievement, right? But it's got to start with, it's a good idea to win and I'm a winner. And you know, there's a lot of things that come into play, like being able to say your affirmations and stuff like that. But you've got to know that there is a bigger idea and one that is leading you forward. And we've got another person who joined us. Welcome, Joanna. And let's see, I'm just making sure we got everyone on mute. And so now let's keep going. So we have confused means with an ends. We just completed that. And we will find success, each of us in his own way, when we find ourselves and when we do all the things we want and need. Okay, so again, it's not just about working to provide, working to survive, but at the same time, is it giving you the work, right? Is it giving you even the right amount of money to be able to do what you want and need? Now, I want you guys to know that we all have the need to work and play. And I think that we can talk about like the burnout and it's a real thing. Now, if you're having fun along the way, I do believe that's how you never get burnt out. You know, if you're just lying to yourself, like, no, I love this, and you don't really, it'll show up. Okay, so that's what's really cool is you have to ask yourself, am I being real and honest with myself, or do I need to learn to manage and balance my work life with my play life so that I don't get burnt out? Okay, and the only thing I can see with a Nagic getting burnt out, and this is for people who have had a hard time maybe picking their business up, is, are your thoughts encouraging you to keep going forward? As in, do you think people can't buy because they can't afford it? Do you think people don't want to join you? Do you think people don't want a business? Do you think people are fine? Like, honestly, like, you really got to get into people's minds, and maybe the best thing to do is practice asking good questions, you know, and be people's friends. Like, I'm a sincere friend, and that's just like my nature. But again, I enjoy that. So that's like me playing. Like, I get to just have a friend and I'm playing like a kid. Like, literally, I love people so much that I get to have hour conversations with people who give me a part of their life. And I'm like, oh my God, it's like I'm having fun all the time. Can I really get burnt out by that if I'm having so much fun? And then, like a business like an Nagic, I don't get to do this all the time, but I will be very honest with you all because you are here. I sleep a lot. And you know, my husband can testify. This morning I woke up early and I'm like, no, I need more sleep. And, you know, and I love to be around him. So I slept in the office where he works and got to watch him work. And I'm like, I just need rest. And why? Because I don't want to get burnt out. I want to give my body what it needs. Now, I've created a life where I get to do that because I am efficient. Like tonight, good thing I slept earlier because I'm going to work late. I know I had this commitment, but, you know, I'm doing more work. Tonight, you know, I went to a job site and they want my proposal. So I didn't have better time to do it than after this training because I was so focused on doing this. But see, that might mean tomorrow I need a little extra sleep of time too. So like knowing what do you need, because that's not a want. I can't want to sleep. I know I need to sleep. So I don't think we get to a lot of times when we have the means with an end and we see our job as burdenful. So, and I think and this is a good conversation to have for business owners, because I know other people here that have joined that are not in an Nagic, but I do want it to be inclusive for everyone. As business owners, having team, you know, like if you know your morning starts my dad's morning starts at 6 a.m. And, you know, actually I can't even sleep in tomorrow. He's on his way to Mexico and I have to fill in for him. So I know that tomorrow night I'm probably going to sleep early, you know, like I've got to make that time, right? But the whole point of all of this is, I have another really good book. It's actually sitting on my table, but it's called Who's Holding Your Ladder? And that's something that as a business owner, you have to know who's going to be there when you can't be there. Who's going to fill in for you, and who are you raising up that can fill in for you when you're not going to be the one doing the heavy lifting, right? And so I had a friend who told me that. She's like, if you're 100% a part of your business, you don't really have a business, you have a job. And I'm like, I don't want to pass this on yet until I desire to, but if this is my job and I'm playing, like, I'm not going to pass my play to someone else, you know? So creating your life to where it's like, I don't know. Now, this is not in my PowerPoint, but I thought about it when I was creating it, and I'm going to bring it up because it changed my life, and we'll come back to the PowerPoint, but I'm going to search it in case you guys ever need this again. I promise you. Let me put it on share my main screen, and now we're going to go to Safari, and it's called The Art. Again, it's like, I didn't make this up. It's just really good stuff that I know along the way. The Art of Living. Forgot the guy's name, but let's see. The Art of Living. This is like a whole concept, but the Art of Living quote. Let me find it. Promise you it'll be so worth it. Let me put it a quote. Oh man, because if not, I'm gonna have to owe you guys because this is a really good thing. Hold on, let me get it for you. Oh, here it is. Okay, I'm gonna read it to you. The master in the art of living makes little distinction between his work and his play, his labor and his leisure, his mind and his body, his education and his recreation, his love and his religions. So that's so powerful. He barely, wait, I don't think that's the whole quote. Here it goes. Yeah, I remember it. This one, here's the rest of it. He hardly knows which is which. He simply pursues his vision of excellence at whatever he does, leaving others to decide whether he is working or playing. To him, he is always doing both. Let that sink. I'm going to read it again because I love it. The master in the art of living makes little distinction between his work and his play, his labor and his leisure, his mind and his body, his education and his recreation, his love and his religion. He hardly knows which is which. He simply pursues his vision. Now, do you have vision? His vision of excellence at whatever he does, leaving others to decide whether he is working or playing. To him, he is always doing both. And so this is why I love Enagic. I feel like I get to do both at all times. I get to work, play, laugh, live. You know, it's to me, it's my excellence. You know, I get to work and have a good time. I get to make money and have a good time. I get to have the needs and the wants met. You know, so that's really exciting, right? Like that's mastering the art of living a good life, an excellent life, you know, to which you're always doing both. And so personal development is part of that, you know, but I'm going to come up with everything that it's a part of. So the journey of self-discovery is the most meaningful, exciting, and rewarding journey to take when we are gripped by a good idea, right? And so I love that because we all seek purpose because God did give us a purpose. You know, for some it's entrepreneurship, for some it's servanthood, for some it's, you know, ministry, for some it's servanthood. I would mean is like you're meant to be an employee, and that's not a bad thing. But for others, when you're uncomfortable doing that, it's because you're not seeking that purpose deep enough. That it's like just not a good idea for you. For some, it's like, man, I don't got to think outside the box. That's a good idea. I get to serve other people, get paid, and love what I do. For some, that works. For others, it's like, man, that's like a cage, right? So none of them are wrong. That's a really good concept to grasp, by the way. Neither of them is wrong, as long as you have what you want and what you need, right? And in the end, like, you know, the only thing that can fulfill you is God. I do believe that. But by finding yourself, you're finding the purpose and why you're here. And then you get to live this life that philosophically means you're living in excellence and living happy. So now, good news, one good idea leads to another. Okay. So it's like, and we always say it in the Bible, and I love it because I know some of my fellow believers are on this call. We go from glory to glory. One good idea leads to another. And then true success can show up. So it's so fun just to look. Now, we all want to feel successful and worthy. It just feels good. Nobody wants to feel unsuccessful and unworthy. That doesn't feel good, right? Now, the real fun in life is in continuously bridging the gap, which lies between where we are and where we want to be, and from what we are to what we wish to become. So this is really good. This is where the bridging of the gap is going to happen. And I am going to ask you, if you can, write these down. Get your paper out, get your pens out if you'd like to. If not, you can just sit back and listen. But I am going to pull out a pen and I am going to write all of these down because I want you to start to look. And let me see the time, see how much time we have. Perfect. We did like half of it, introducing it, and then the half will actually get to work on it. And so I want you to write down family, career, and business. And the reason why is these are what they call the 7 equities of your life. There could be other ones, they're interchangeable. But this is a really great way And I love doing this almost like right now is a really good time at the beginning of the year or right before the beginning of the new year. So happy December 1st, everyone. This is a really good time to do this. And again, we're bridging the gap. So I'm going to train you guys how to do this. And again, I've been doing this for years. I learned it out of training. It's great. It's a good tool. So we got family, we've got career and business, we've got health. Then we got number 4, write them all down. Recreation. And then we got 5, finances. And then we've got 6, spirituality. And then we got 7, personal development. Very different than spirituality, by the way. This is all that mindset stuff, but it ties in, of course. So does your finances, so does your recreation, so does your health, so does your business, and so does your family. We're all one, but we got to see the separations. And what I want you to do right now is I want you to ask yourself, does everybody got them all written down? Does everybody got them written down? Maybe you can hit, where is that little hand? You can raise your hand. Okay, we got Karina. I see you. I see you, Christopher. Got you. Got you. Awesome. All right, perfect. We got 2 joining. So one of you guys is going to be our participation, most likely. Let's see. So I want you guys to rate today, December 1st, 2022. Melina, I see you. I want you guys to rate your life in these areas. And nothing wrong with the rating, but you get to rate from 1 to 10. Okay. How is this area of my life right now? Like this moment. And so we'll go ahead and do that. And we're going to take not even 5 minutes. So I'm doing it with you. So I figure you guys can get started as I facilitate this, but family, career and business, health, recreation, finances, spirituality, and personal development. So start rating them. That one's hard.
Hey, Steph,
Yes.
real quick. So is it how happy we are
Yeah.
with this or how important it is to us or
No,
what?
important. Rate it.
How
and
important?
no, not how important. They're all important. 100% all of them are important.
Yeah.
You're unhappy. So let's actually rate how happy are you in these areas.
Oh, okay. Okay. Got it.
Scale of 1 to 10. Okay, let's see. I'm on number 4, so let's see where you guys are at in a bit. Yeah, okay. And then I have a hard time going above 7. I'm hard on myself. Oh, I guess so, yeah. Okay. All right, and I see Melina's hand still up. Let me guys know when you guys are done. If you're participating. Alejandra, are you doing this too? I wanna hear yours too. All right. So now Bryce or Karina, can one of you guys raise your hands just because you guys are the first ones to participate? Now I see you, Melina, too. So maybe I can get you guys all in to participate. But Karina, okay, great. Karina, you're all done. Can I have you get on and unmute yourself, please? And again, this is just a really good exercise, and I love doing it before the new year, or every now and then I check in with myself because it's how I create my goals. And this is just a good system on learning how to create my goals so that I can keep walking towards them and realize, where am I? Again, when you're discovering yourself, you got to first understand, well, where am I? So I am going to add a pin, and then I'm going to add a pin. Oh, I already got a pin on me. So Karina, welcome. I think you still muted. Okay, I'm gonna remove this so that means.
Oh, you wanted me to say something?
Yeah. So I'm gonna work.
Sorry.
No, that's okay.
A little slow. Okay,
And-
so I'm gonna tell you the rates.
Yeah, I want to know what your family rating is, what your career, what your health. Yeah, all of them.
Okay. So right now my family's 5. My career and business, at a 2. I'm not very happy right there. My health is a 2 right now too. Recreation, I wasn't too sure about that. I think it's more like having fun. Is
Yes.
it that one? Okay, I put 4. Finances is I don't like that either right now. 2. Spirituality is at a 4, and then personal development at 6. Because I
Okay.
really feel like I'm working on building myself up. So I'm pretty good in that area right now.
I love it because I feel like that's interesting. I think you really get spirituality is different from personal development. So that's good.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And well, I want to acknowledge you for sharing that because it takes a lot to look. And it also takes a lot to say there's a 2 in your area of life, and those are places where obviously they need work, even to get to a 5. And I want you to not also feel too concerned in going from a 2 to a 10. But the question does come down to, in family, since you have a 5, what would make it a 10? Like, what could you do, even if it's like 1, 2, or 3 things? And again, this is to help you learn to make goals, because sometimes we kind of get stuck in like, well, how do I make a goal? And what would be a good goal? But you got to realize that you should have goals in every area of your life, every equity of your life, not just, I just want to make more money. But what about your health? In the progress, you might lose some health, like if you don't put enough time to that, if you don't have a goal for that. So it's a way of keeping your life entirely not disbalanced. If your family is a 5 but you're not being healthy, will you live with your family long enough on earth to enjoy them? So it's really great because the 7 equities, like I said, it really is to balance you. It's to complete everything. Now is it possible to completely have 10s across the way? I mean, I don't think that that's what makes life fun. I think it's fun when we get to keep growing. So if we think, and I think that's why I have a hard time putting 10s. So, but we'll get started because I started to get kind of into just the mindset of it. But so, Karina, right now you've rated your family a 5. What would make it a 10? Like, what could you do with your family? Is there anything that you've
You
got
know
to
what?
create?
Actually, it's probably like a 7, I think, because we have been like talking more, being more communicative. We've been like doing family things. So I think it's changed a lot. And now I think about it, like my family has really been supportive. A lot of, and I've been like hanging out with them more. So yeah, I really think it's gotten way better.
Okay.
Yeah, but I don't know, like to really make it more like to become the 10. I think it's just pretty much just like talking, communication more and spending more quality time.
Right.
Yeah.
You could
I
set
believe that's it.
would it just be like, if right now you guys are talking maybe 2 times a week, it would be like 3 times a week? Is there something specific that you can put in place as an action to do that?
Oh yeah, like check in, like calling and checking in on them, and like probably making like a plan, like, oh, can we like, I know we started doing this little thing with my mom for a while. On Sundays we were going and we were like my mom would cook dinner for us, and it was just me and my brother, and we would go. But then, I kind of did the church thing for a while, and then after I'm out, but now I want to kind of get back into that, like, to kind of, because my mom was like, I'm getting older. So like stuff like that really helps, to kind of bring us together and bond more.
Keeping your Sunday, like almost like a family night.
Yeah.
Go back to that, or even every other week or something like that.
Yeah, and then with me and my boyfriend and his kids, and my daughter, because we kind of got separated because on Saturday my daughter goes with her dad, and then Sunday his kids go with their mom. So now we're gonna switch like every other Sunday. Like I'm gonna keep my daughter, and we're gonna all do something together. So that's gonna like bring us back again, because we haven't went out on a family outing for a while since Halloween. We actually went trick-or-treating. It was really nice. So yeah, get in that area too.
Good. I want you to realize that you can see by looking what would make it a 10, you can see where you really are. That's what's exciting. Because, when you first came in, you said 5, and now you're like, you know what? Looks good, actually. And there's not much more because we're actually healthy, which is good. And I want to just point it out, like, as a tendency, Karina, what's going to make your life better, being that you rated everything under a 7, is starting to see, and now you rated it a 7, that your life is more complete than you think. And but let's look. Is it really career and business? So you rated it a 2. Do you want to share on the 2, or would you like to just look? What would make it a 5, 7, or a 10? Anything?
Well, today I kind of made a step to because I used to do process serving. And you know, after a little conversation earlier this morning, Edgar and I spoke, and he goes, "Hey, so how did you do that personal no process server before? What do you need to get into that?" And I told him all the loops, and I goes, "Well, why don't you start there?" And I was like, "You're right. Like, it's not even that hard." I just been procrastinating. So today I went to go get my insurance bond on that, and I'm gonna go do the step work as far as, you know, what to go apply for the application, and I'm gonna start my little business on my own, you know, and put my business cards out there, like to start serving child support papers or restraining orders, you know, since I used to do that, and I'm gonna be by myself. So that's a little start, and then I'm building myself up with you.
Yes.
And listening to the stuff. So yeah, it's getting up there, you know, but right now I just feel like I'm not happy, I guess, with my job. That's why I rated it a 2. Yeah, that's why I put it at the 2.
You dropped
But I
it.
made a step today.
You did. You did. So would you still say it's a 2?
Maybe like 4. I don't want to go like way high.
You're like, I'm not in motion yet.
Yeah.
See the inspiration, guys, because Karina literally just said, Edgar is her partner, and he came up with a good idea. Hey, why don't you go back into this? It's your independent thing that you can do. And being independent is a good idea for Karina. That's what is coming up for her.
Yeah.
So again, we're inspired by good ideas, because where we are sometimes is I need this job to pay for my bills. Right. And I know, Karina, you have that relationship. I could say that, and that's all good.
Yeah.
For some, they need to see and look, is that where they are? Is that not where they are? And again, that's why we're doing the exercise. And so thank you, Karina, for being vulnerable. And also, congratulations. I'm really glad that you're
Thank
looking
you.
at ways to create more freedom so that you can have what you want, so that you can have work and play, you know?
Yeah, that's what I want to do. Yeah, like, because it's something that I enjoy doing. You know, I really like doing that, and I'm on my own. And I feel like, you know, the thing that I really want is like to be present for my daughter, to be able to go do, you know, go to the doctor, go work out, but work, you know, make money. I don't want to be like, I have to be here from a certain time, and then when I leave, it's like I go home and I'm rushing and I'm tired, you know, like I just tired of that little loop already. You know, I want that freedom and that play, you know, like they say, like the fun and the play. So you're just like you're happy doing your work pretty much.
Right.
Yeah.
That's awesome, you know, and like I said, I love it. I actually do know a girl process serving. She also has a Kangen machine, so that's how I know about the business. But that's really awesome that, you know, like for you, that's a good idea, because you know the business. You know how to get clients for that. You know how to get your name out there for that. And I'm sure you can get very creative on a business tip. Like you can get very creative on marketing, like, you know, getting connected to people who own properties so that you can serve if they ever need tenants, you know, and just dropping business cards at, like, you know, even legal offices and stuff like that. But, you know, just finding ways to stay constantly getting new clients and getting your name out there. But that'll be a whole nother training, and we'll get there. And health, you rated it a 2. What kinds of actions could you put in, right, to make that even a 7? Don't want to think too high, so just 7.
Well, just start working out again and trying to eat better. Yeah.
General, which is good, Karina, because most people will stop there, and that's why they don't reach the goal. So what could you do specifically? Let's say if you were committed to that, doesn't mean you are, you don't have to, but if you committed and you wanted to take it to a 7 or a 10, what is an action that you can do tomorrow to get that going? Because do you have a gym pass already?
I do, but I'm waiting for it to open. And then what they did, but tomorrow, so like I'm going in the process, I'm getting there. So tomorrow I go meet with the guy, and they're gonna validate my little card, and they're gonna give me free access to online classes. So since they're taking forever to open the gym, because they said October, then they said November, now it's February. So now what they're gonna do is, you know, they're gonna give us free classes. So like personal training on the phone. So I could go work out at my house watching them. So I was like, oh yeah, there's a step, you know?
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's
Phone
happening
training.
tomorrow?
Yeah, it's happening tomorrow. So I go meet with them.
Well, that's great, because you're in action and all this.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, so I'm like in action, but I think what I'm saying, like right now, this place, like today, that's probably where I'll be, but probably like in a month, maybe it'll change.
Okay, good.
For sure, it's gonna change.
And that's good because you're looking now. Recreation, where if what could it be a 7 if you could?
No, actually, you know what? That one's like a 6. Actually, honestly, I'm really happy. I do a lot of things.
Yeah,
I'm always going somewhere, looking. You know, not that I'm saying I'm all traveling all the world, you know, all over the world, but I mean, I'm happy. I go like to make sure I do a lot of little fun things.
And then you
Yeah.
made finances a 2. Can you stop?
Yeah. No,
I-
we could probably do like 3 or 4, like 3, 4.
Funny enough, I
Four.
just want to point to
Yeah.
that. I'm going to go on to Chris next, but Karina,
Yeah,
what
okay. Let's go.
specifically for you, this may not be for everyone, that your life is better than you think. And it's probably headed in a very good direction. And so keep doing and
Thank you.
around. You know, I'm here to support you and
Thank you.
well, you've been a good student. You know, a good student will eventually be a good leader and a good teacher. You know, but
Thank you.
we get you out of my life was this and it's going to turn into this, you know, and really that's just a mindset change, Karina. And sure, it comes with actions, but the other actions from the 2s, like the 2 mindset, is that you'll be bored. I'm bored with my job. I'm bored with staying at home and watching TV and watching Netflix. I'm bored. I don't got anything else to do, is the conversation around that. And that's not the reality. There's a lot to do at all times. So that's one thing that'll start to become more present and relevant, you know, is that there is purpose in my life and I am doing great things and there is good things. And once you start coming from there, you're going to bring more of that. Because again, it becomes a good idea to the next idea. And look at that. You went from, oh yeah, actually we have a good life there. So you leveled that out in your mind. Then you went from a 2 to a 4 in, I had the good, and that one was a really good example because the good idea has already been started. It's a good idea to get into processing. Now you got to play it out. And what I want you to get to is that one good idea leads to a better idea, leads to a good idea again. Again, in the Bible, it's we go from glory to glory. And so don't let yourself slip from that though. Demand that from yourself because that's how you were created, to go from glory to glory. So just demand it from yourself. Like, you know what? And it's in your thoughts. That's why I made this about mindset, because if we allow ourselves to say, well, I've done good things, so I could keep doing better things and continue and continue and continue, go from glory to glory to glory, then I can continue to do that. So don't let yourself separate from the things that are getting you there, number 1. And number 2, keep nourishing the good thinking because it becomes a new way of life. And that's, again, the art of living. That quote is super good. So you guys know where to find it. I Googled it with you. The art of living quote. We didn't even get the name of the person who did it. So thank you, Karina. I will ask, oh, thank you. I see you unmuted yourself. I will remove the pin and I am going to add a pin to Mr. Christopher. Would you like to join us on video or not? Or just join us on The Voice? Oh, hi. Welcome.
Hey, yeah, so this is pretty interesting. It makes you really think and it like assess your life and stuff in different areas. So I really like this this little activity for sure.
I love it too. And like I said, you can do this any time of the year, but I always love it at the beginning of the year because you can set goals from it. And I love to set goals at the new year, but usually this is what I do, guys. I give myself the gift of my goals on Christmas. And so I've actually been a little crazy busy and doing life so fast that I haven't done that. So this Christmas, I'm going to give myself the gift of my goals. So I hope that you guys can do that too. And if you're doing it right now, the gifts are already getting wrapped. Okay. So, all right. So because we did numbers 1, 2, and 3 with Karina and 4, we will do 4, 5, 6, and 7 with you. However, I want to know all of the scores. So with family, what was your score?
All right, so with family, it's a 6. It's pretty good, but you know, like I'm missing my son. You know, there's some things that are complicated with there, but that, and then you want me to just go down the list?
Yes, please.
Okay, so then for career business, it's like at a 4. I know it's just like there's things I could take more action on. With health, it's a 7. Recreation 6, finances 4, spirituality 5, and personal development 7.
Okay, good. And I love this because I just get to see like how your life's going, right? You can start to see the pattern. If you guys start writing it down, like you'll know his life. Just, depends how much you want to contribute. But I'm doing it, right? So I want to see his life and I want to coach him through it. And then in the process, you guys will see your life. Okay, so I do want to actually I told you we would do 4, 5, 6, and 7, but I think I'm gonna focus on the 4, the 5, I'm sorry, the career on 4, and then hold on, let me write that down. Recreation is number 4, and then we have finances number 5. I wrote it on a new paper, so give me just a second while I personal and then spiritual. So when I usually have 7s, I realize it's because I'm putting time, energy, effort, importance, commitment towards these areas, right? So I'm sure your personal development, you've been committed. I mean, I've been stealing some of yours and just putting it on I'm like, well, perfect. He's doing the work. I'm gonna take it. My dad said the one that copies most in network marketing is gonna win. So I became a good copycat. And I mean, hey, the information's out there. So little quick screenshot and I've got some information, right?
I copy other people too. I get inspired by so many other pages and also people from Enagic as well. So
that's part of being a part of a community too. Not all ideas have to be yours. And so that's personal development, and I'm happy for you. And I can see that because you're here tonight too. So I want to acknowledge that. Thank you for being here, by the way.
let's go.
And spiritual seems like a 5, so it seems like maybe I like 5s. It's kind of like we're confused. Like, is it good? Is it not good?
It's like in the middle, I guess you could say. Yeah, like it's like, I guess like there's days that I pick up and read the Bible and read the like segments, and then there's days like there probably goes a streak where I'm not doing so. And then but I think it kind of balances because like with personal development, I guess I focus on myself and like fitness and stuff like that. But then with spirituality, then I kind of put it to the side, like, you know what I'm saying? But then I do end up going back to it. So it's kind of is like a lukewarm, or I don't know. Like, yeah.
I can help you a little bit there. I've done a lot of I've been a balanced person. When I go into, well, no, I can't really say that, but lately I got into, and this is very humbling for me to say, and I don't want anyone to take it the wrong way, but just take it for what it is. I got too far into church, and therefore I saw the imbalance in my health, and I saw the imbalance in my personal development, and I saw the imbalance in my career. Not so much my family, because it's always been like we all do our own thing. But I can even say an imbalance. Like literally, it was too much spirituality to where I didn't have, like, my marriage is part of my family too, and I think that thrived, right? But not everything else, especially not. I mean, I guess recreation only thrived in that I did feel like church was fun. So for me, it was recreation, right? And so it's really all what we make it. And is it a good idea to do this? Now, in that season, it was. And so what I have to say about that is, like you said, I step into the Bible and I read, and, and that's all very, very good. And you just have to ask yourself, is it impacting me in a way where it's making me better? Because I know I was a Bible reader, as in I tried reading the Bible, but I never understood it. And I do believe that that's a lot of people's realities, because we don't understand through the Holy Spirit, like what we're reading in the Bible, right? And so it's, do I understand who God is, and that he has 3 parts? Like, we are, not that we're several parts, like 7, like the equities here, but those are all part of our lives. But we are also 3 parts in that we have a spirit, we have a soul, and we have a body. Right. And so, as you said, yeah, I'm working out, and I'm also feeding my personal development, which is my soul, which is my mind, my will, and my emotions. So I'm working all that. And I see that even in family. You mentioned I'm missing the relationship with my son, but you still rated it above a 5, which is a 6, which means that your mind and your soul seem to be in a good place. When you rate your spiritual on a 5, I'm kind of like, does he get the level of spirit where his spirit can grow? Right. And so this was not a spiritual conversation, but I wanted to support you in that, because it's one of which is why I imbalanced my life for that season. That's why I said I'm a very balanced, imbalanced, or imbalanced, balanced. is that I chose to almost like a catch up. Like I need to go all in on the God thing. Like I literally let go of being an addict for 2 years, and I let go of going to my Landmark personal training. I always used to say I go to church for my spirit. I go to Landmark, which is a personal development and training program. I go to Landmark for my mind or my soul, and then I go to the gym for my body. And I would say I have those 3 gyms, basically, my physical, my mental, and my spiritual gyms. Right. And that's how I kept myself balanced. And I was very consistent with that until then I decided I'm going to go to this church and I'm going to let go of everything and only go to church. And it became very heavy eventually to where I'm like, okay, now I need to expand to be able to do everything that I do. Right. And so that's good, because when we start to see that imbalance, it's not that sure, some things may have to go, but then you've got to realize if it's missing, then I've got to go all in on it. And so that's what I did. I thought that was the right decision. It was a good idea. Remember, this is all about good ideas. And if you see it as a good idea, you will pursue it and you will enjoy the pursuit of it. And so the only thing about that is, if you want to have a further conversation, I will do that for free. So just contact me, only because I love God and I know that serves people and it would serve your life. And you should comment, guys, if you want. You can comment. This is going to be on YouTube. You guys can comment if you guys want spiritual conversations. I will create just those. And but that's why I did it, because I do like, this is nature for me to like create these trainings. I've been doing this for 12 years, so it's kind of second nature. I literally prep. So this is my training prep for it. I call a few people to get inspired because my heart is about the people. And then I put like 30 minutes into developing my PowerPoint, and I love to be in a rush. So I'm like, oh my God, I got to get this done. And it just somehow comes together. Now, I also feel like that's not being like highly prepared, but because I have so much like personal development, I do feel like it'll just show up. And that confidence is like, it's a good idea to just spend 3 hours talking to people before I get on my training. How I think that way, I don't know. But again,
they say success loves speed.
It's a what?
They say success loves speed.
Wow.
So, and the fact that you're, on point and you made everything in a certain way and during a certain time, like, that's why you have the success that you have in certain areas. And yeah.
Thank you. I received the acknowledgement. Thanks. This is why I love this. Like I said, I get so much, and I love it because others I know will get something from the time that I've invested and put into getting these tools, which is what they are. They're tools, and so, yeah. So with the spiritual thing, like I said, if there's more, but realizing that maybe there's just like a few things like that'll help you to acknowledge more of what you're reading so that it becomes more of a habit or more of a like. My church, my pastor, and this is still very hard for me. He says, but keep to pray an hour a day to keep the devil away. Right. And I'm like, an hour, but we will commit an hour to the gym. We will commit an hour to this training. So how do we work ourselves to commit that hour to our spirit? If that is what's going to make you feel like your spiritual life is growing more. See you later, Karina. I do see your message there. Thank you. And so, oh man, I kind of moved this whole.
Puts it in perspective for sure. For sure. I like that.
Yeah. So that's just for that conversation. So good. I did want to help you a little bit on that. Now, this is not about what I think and what I can give you, but I do want you to come up with something. What's one action? Because you did say that that every now and then you'll read the Bible. So what other things can you do to increase this spiritual rating of a 5 to a 7, 10, or let's say a 10, because I want you to think if my spirit was the best thing, like the most developed area of my life, what could I be doing?
So I would go to church like every Sunday. I'm planted at this church that's kind of in Newport, and I'm in West Covina, so it's a little travel, but I have virtual, so I can always like tap in. I guess, I guess to take the step to prioritize it a little more, and then also prioritize, like you said, like an hour, like talking with God. you know, or even if not an hour, 30 minutes. Like I know people have time, 30 minutes or an hour to watch a video or watch a movie or be on the training, like you said. So I think those little steps to make more consistency throughout like the month with my relationship with God would definitely bring that to 10, you know, at least like staying committed to at least one day out of the week, like Sunday.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's, I think,
That's
a good
cool. I also want to add one in there just as like to think outside the box. It's a good idea in my head. I don't know if it'll work for you, but I'll give it to you because my husband was recently, and now he goes to one in Whittier, but our church has what's called family groups, and we have a gentleman who's also a businessman. He hosts men's groups for like from our church. They're called family groups. And so that's just another idea. You can find a men's group that is about, and like the intention is, you know, I mean, you said a church in Newport, and you've mentioned.
I actually do a Friday group with Colton.
Okay,
But yeah, I just kind of fell off, you know what I'm saying? So I probably just need to be more committed and consistent with it, you know?
so there you go. You have that in place, but again, with the imbalance of not joining or being a part of it, then it's like the rating starts going down. But we know it's because that was a good idea, but you're not even following through with that idea. You become either, it's not bored, but maybe just complacent or found a reason not to do it, or it's too far, it's too, you know. But even finding something local, therefore, it still gets, you know, taken care of as if it's a need, therefore, you know. But on the rating, there is some kind of desire that wants to spring out there, you know. And that's why I want you guys to look at too, guys. Like if you have ratings in there where you're like, this is a 5 or below, that's where you want to look. Like where and what can I take an action to make myself better? Now, I'll see if we have time for both. If not, we'll do one or the other, but choose career, business, or finances. They kind of go hand in hand. So
Yeah, they both, they go hand in hand for sure. I guess probably when I think of finances, I probably like I probably made a poor decision recently financially,
okay.
where that's why I feel like I'm struggling a little bit financially. Like kind of like like just to be vulnerable, I got like a new truck.
Okay.
But then like it was a good idea in the moment, but then like now that I look at the payment and like gas prices, I'm like, dang. You know, but that's probably one area that it struggled now just because I made that decision. But I also know that it could improve and it could grow as long as I stay more dedicated in my business, my magic business. You know, I could definitely bounce back and overcome, like basically pay it off. And you know what I'm saying? Like you see, so they go hand in hand. Like
Yeah, no, I love that because what you're saying is something that started off as a good idea, then turned into a bad idea, right? And that's where again, it's kind of like how we fall into this, I'm no longer in this happy place because now I got to work harder. And it's like working harder becomes harder rather than enjoyable. And that's why, and you're doing a good job. You said, well, if I work harder in magic, which is a good idea, again, then it'll help balance this area. But we also want to push you towards that. So good. We'll lead right into the next one. What could you do in your career or business? And let's be specific with a magic, actionable, that you can do even tomorrow or the next, even tonight, that would take your business from a 4 to a 10.
Okay, so I could definitely share a lot more water because I have like a lot of gallons that I have that are kind of just sitting there. So definitely schedule some water shares with people that I have shared with water with before, or people that watch my stories and stuff like that. And then also sharing the demo while I do that. And so knock out 2 exposures at once. And I'm promoting like the events. So then go with like follow up with people and invite them like consistently, or follow up with them, be like, hey, like come with me to this event, you know, to check out what the water is all about, health and business side. And so I guess like just to sum it up, just to take more exposures, take more action, right? and do it consistently, one thing at a time, whether it's following up, setting up an appointment to a water share demo, and then also inviting people to the events. And then GoPro is this weekend, so I'm doing a watch party here. So I'm gonna have some prospects come through, and people that are in my downstream come through and you know, work on that mastermind. So it's all coming together for sure. You know, just
Great.
one at a time.
I think it's fresh, you know? And one thing that you said it all, like, you know, the business, you know how to do it. I can see, I wrote everything down. You share more water because you have gallons. You'll share the demo. You'll promote the events so you can invite people to the events. You'll have more exposures consistently. You'll have GoPro, and you're having hosting people at your home to do that and to just follow up. Now, with all of this being said, I think the only other thing is, and I just want to encourage you that you're on the right path, because leadership is a big part. And when it comes to leadership, yes, as John Maxwell would say, the basic thing that he says it is it's influence. And I know now I know that you're a part of Colton's team, and therefore making sure that your people, your downline, the people under your care, are also a part of either Colton's here or wherever you're gonna, you know, continue to thrive. But that so that you believe in their success. And that to me is more than influence. Leadership is believing in other people's success, right? And if we can get really good at that, we'll attract more people who want success. And just, you know, iron sharpens iron. You will work harder together, and we'll grow together. You know, it's like building life together. And also it'll just be easier for them to mirror what you do. Rather than wanting to have what you have, they'll mirror what you do to become more like you. So yes, I'm going to say, make sure, when are you going to give water?
So I could start tomorrow. Well, actually, hold on. Let me slow down. Let me take a breath. I'm gonna be doing GoPro, so 9 to 5. So most definitely I could start water starting Monday.
I disagree. Invite people to GoPro. Invite people. They don't got to be in network marketing already. Invite them and send them home with some gallons.
Okay. Oh, definitely. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes more sense. Yeah, instead of prolonging it, like, might as well have people over. I already have gallons here, so give them gallons to take home. Yes, that's that's amazing.
Have them come to you, provide value, and then they go home with gallons.
Wow. Yeah. You just opened my mind. You made me like think more simpler. Yeah, because I was kind of overcomplicating it, or maybe even procrastinating a little bit. Like,
No. Let's not go right back into that negative realm. We just got to keep going from one good idea to the next good idea.
absolutely.
And so that's why this is so great. Thank you. I really appreciate your participation. We got all of the ones that could use improvement. I really do pray that your son and yourself can have that love and reconciliation, whatever is needed in that arena. I'm glad your health is good. Personal development, it shows. And then I think recreation. I mean, I'm sure, like I said, having fun, working and playing, Enagic does that for us. So it's so great. Any business really, because it's like hard work, but then it's like fulfillment at the end, you know? So thank you, Christopher. I really appreciate your participation and hope to have you back too.
Yeah, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Awesome. So let's see. Okay, we actually have like 14 more minutes. So I see Alejandra's hand is up, but I'm not sure if that was from the last time. Anybody else? Alejandra, you can either unmute or someone else can raise your hand and we can go ahead and have you. I see Monica, we got Melina, Mom, I got Liz here, Carlos, Alejandra, I see your all right, Alejandra. So would you like to go through this yourself too? You're liking it? Enjoying it?
Yes, of course. Everything that you do is amazing.
Thank you. And it's all to help you guys. And again, it always helps me to know where you are. And I love it because that's what this is all about. You know, we need to know where we are to know where we're going. I always say that. So, and I love it because I want to know where you're going too. They say that if you want to win, help others have what they want. And so I do. I want to know some of your goals and where you feel like you are in life, because like Karina did earlier. You know, she realized she was in a better place than she thought. And that's good because that'll start to help our lives when we realize, wow, I'm better than I thought. You know, so what did you rate your family life?
8.
Okay, good. What is your career? Business?
Well, I will say that it's a 4.
Well, don't worry, we'll get there. How about your health?
10.
Ooh, I love it. And yes, I agree. I get you. There's not much more you can do there, right? I mean, there's always something we can do, but I'm glad you're very happy with it. How about recreation?
4.
Ooh, I like that. Okay, finances.
5.
Okay, and then we got spiritual,
I will say a 7.
and then as personal development.
7.
Okay, beautiful. Okay, so let's look. So you're compared to most, no, not compared to most, I guess compared to negative thinking, you actually have good thinking because of how you're rating. And even to be able to rate anything a number 10, you love something and you're passionate about something, which obviously in this case is your health and working out. And what's amazing, and I hope you don't mind that we share, right? You've gone through a procedure recently that had you come out of being able to work out.
Yes.
Oh, let me add you in my thing as a pin. Did I add the pin? Oh, let's go ahead and have this conversation like this. Okay. And so I want to acknowledge that you can see past that and still be very happy that you're alive and that your health, that you have commitment with your health. That takes a lot, you know, and because like I said, you've been able to have a fall that you've come up from quick. Like it didn't bring you down that you had to have a surgical procedure of some sort. It literally was like, I got to go through this and I'm going to be okay. And,
Yes.
you know, and that's a form of the good ideas, good thinking. You know, really this good idea thing is all about the good thinking. So I want to acknowledge that. With your family also, I know you're a mother, you have 2 children, and that's powerful, you know, to be a mom and say, I'm happy with my family life. You know, and I know you're also really close to your mom. So that's also really nice that in 8, you know, you feel complete with that. Then we have spiritual and personal development. And I want to acknowledge you for that because from 7 and up, it's like you're content and it could always be better. That's why there's the 7 and not the 10. But well, maybe if we touch on these, we will touch on those last because they're already highly rated. And so let's go ahead and talk about first recreation, and then we'll get to career and business. So talk to me about recreation. What could you possibly do, take an action on, create, do tomorrow, do right now that would create your recreation score to be a 10?
Well, taking more action, I guess, with all the goals that I have, because I'm always excited about doing new things, but then I let the fear, you know, to take over. And so that's what's, I guess, has been affecting me.
Got it. So now I want to ask you, what does recreation mean to you?
Recreation meaning like creating new things in my life, as far as, you know, the one thing I've been learning is one thing is desiring things and being able to even achieve a goal, but at the end it's hard to achieve your goals, but it's harder to stay in that stage in your life. Like, because once you're able to succeed on something that you want to do, but if you don't continue to work and staying in that, how can I say that?
Like a cycle.
Staying in that success, then you know,
Right.
That's what I've been learning, you know. So I'm trying to, first of all, get to where I want to get, and then being able to continue to grow, you know, not to just say, oh, okay, I already achieved this goal and now it's all good, you know, because it's always space for to grow.
Right.
So that's one of the things I've been learning, and that's what I take as recreation, that we should always be looking forward for the next step to continue to grow.
This is really good. I'm going to take the opportunity now to maybe, let me say this in the best way possible, to empower your concept of what recreation is. And it could be a language thing, but I'm gonna take the risk and get on the internet. All right. And I'm going to put the definition, because this is going to help all of us. Because language is big. Now, I'm not sure if there's a better word for recreation, but this is good because it brought it up. The recreation definition: activity done for enjoyment when one, here it goes, is not working. And I think this might solve all the problems in your life. This is good. I'm inspired right now by what can come out of this. So when you're not working, aside from working out, because girl, that's work. That's bettering your life. It's part of maintenance and good living. But when you're not working and you're playing, Alejandra, it's almost like this. Forget I ever said recreation. If you could rate your play, what is the rating you would give your play? Does that make sense when I say that?
At this point, I will still give it a 4.
Okay, good. So it is, you get it. And I think that the issue here, because even when I asked you, what do you think recreation is? It still led to your desires and the things. And this is good because that's where your heart is. Like, you want more play. That's what I'm hearing from your answers, is that you want to be able to create a life. And Alejandra, you have a fun life. You have a lot of friends who love you, cherish you, and you have a beautiful home that you get to invite people to. So your play, I know it's up there, but I do think that more play, and we have to discover this more for you, what that play is, what it would look like, because it could be that the career and business, because there's such a, maybe this 4 is really like a 2, but you're a good thinker, right? Like, if career could be a 2 and we're really unhappy in this area, but we can't recognize that, it's affecting your play. Because remember, the art of living is not knowing if you're playing or working. But your work life and this is me speaking into it, and I could be completely wrong, and you can totally tell me. But if we were to rate your career and business a 2 because the desires of your life are not truly being met, right?
Mhm.
Then it's affecting how you feel about your play life. So even when you're playing, you're not truly enjoying.
True.
Yeah.
Yes.
Cool. Okay,
Yeah.
good. I don't want to step over any ways that you already feel and think and are experiencing.
You know, talking about playing or play, you know, it's like it's right now I will rate it a 4 because but it's optional. It's because I want it to be that way at this point, because I have a lot of things that I can be doing. Like tonight I have an invitation to go somewhere, but I choose to stay here because I wanted to stay in the meeting.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
And yeah, I was like about to tell you, know, I have something to do, which is also supporting my friend because her daughter is having an is sporting is exposition, you know, in a gallery for art. So it was kind of like support her, but then I also have to decide what was most important for me, which for me is to be with you too. So because I'm taking classes and I, as you know, I was doing my challenge. I couldn't really be going out because I had to stick to my diet, and it was very strict. And then the studying and all of the things that I'm doing, then I have to choose what's more important for me, whether to go out socializing or to stick to my to my goals. So if I want to be successful, so that's why I rated a 4, because it's funny now that I have now that I'm trying to stay focused, I'm getting more invitations to go out and do things. But I decided to stop, to slow down in that matter, and just really emphasizing what's important for me if I really want to achieve my goals, to be happy.
Wow, I'm really inspired by that. And I will work on this with you more deeper. But I'm going to encourage to seek spiritually, because I saw you rated it high. How you balance that work and play. And I know what's hard is that you work full-time, and you're building a business part-time. So you're doing the necessary thing to continue to personally develop, even spiritually develop, right? Because I know you've rated them the same. So right now they're linked to each other. That's what this tells me, because I'm pretty good at understanding what's going on here, right? And so I'm noticing by your ratings. But
yes, I'm happy because I'm finally learning to take responsibility of my own actions. So I think that would be part of me, my spirit. I don't know how to say it, being spiritual. And also the fact that I've been learning to be thankful and grateful for everything that I have in life. And, even if it's small things, even if my finances are not doing so well, I try not to worry about that, because I trust that God is right next to me, guiding me. And I know that I'm not alone. I'm not alone. I know that I have the support of the people that I need to get the support, starting with you. And even if I'm just sitting here at home all by myself, reading and studying, I feel happy, because I feel like I'm finally doing something for me, for myself, that I don't need to be dependent on anyone in that matter like before, like I would think, oh, my happiness is based on someone else.
Right.
I know that starts, within me,
yes,
I'm in charge of my own happiness. And so I'm discovering all these things finally, and that makes me feel happy.
yeah. Anyone who's here tonight, you guys are all on your way to a good life, because that's what you're seeing. That's what that shows that. And I'm really grateful that you would turn away from something, and that's the sacrifices that are being done right now. And but I think when you recreate yourself, and realize that the world will somehow find a funny way that you can make it to almost everything. Because there's trainings where I say, don't miss an event, because those are always opportunities to meet new people. And we need others for our joy and happiness, but we are still interdependent in this world where we need each other in services and serving one another. And because obviously what we do with the Magic is we sell clean and water machines, not to ourselves, but to others. And so how we need others is a concept of I serve, others also need me and what I have. As you continue to internally see the love and the empowerment within yourself, that conversation again will come out as a good idea. And when you're out there, you're sharing good, and people are drawn to you. They're attracted to your goodness, and like they call it law of attraction, right? And but they're attracted to who you are because you know the art of living. So right now, I honestly think that you're just in a place where you're putting in the time and the sacrifices, and I think that deep down, you're headed to something. So thank you. We're at 9:01, guys, so I'm sorry. I love to be like punctual and on time. 9:01. Oh my.
Thank you.
I am so sorry. No, my pleasure, Alejandra. We'll talk. I am so sorry. I didn't realize we were going till 8:30, and when I brought Alejandra on was 8:46. Whoops. But Alejandra, thank you again. We will continue the conversation, of course. Thank you all who stayed on even overtime here with us. But again, I will be doing this. Oh, and thank you, babe. That guy in the beginning was Tom Bilyeu. He's great as well. Just brings on incredible people to interview. And again, John Maxwell. People have asked me what are some tools, books, anything on leadership, anything on business. I still, like to follow a lot of the great thinkers and people who have created a much success. Grant Cardone, Robert Kiyosaki. I was telling my husband today, I was listening to an audio from YouTube. Another one was Gary Vaynerchuk. There's Ty Lopez. So all of these people, take what you can, whatever will empower you and keep growing. But these are people willing to share some of their success with us. So that's why I put their names out there. And last thing I just want to leave you guys with is thank you. Again, we will be here Thursday nights. I'm sorry. I guess an hour is not enough time. And but these are recorded. So if you didn't get to watch the whole thing, you can replay. And again, I want to say thank you to everyone who participated. Chris, thank you, Alejandra. And then we had Karina. Thank you, Liz. And I know you always love to join in and help us out too. And time flies by when you're having fun. That's right, Chris. I know. Oh my. I'm so sorry, guys. I love to be punctual, but this one I totally went over my head. My bad. I literally thought I was supposed to end at 9 and it was really 8:30. I really enjoy your Zoom meeting. Thank you so much for the extra energy boost. Yes, you're very welcome, Melina. I wish you all very much success. And for tonight, we are done. So have a good night and God bless you guys. Thanks.